No.
You do not see yourself.
The picture blurry.
Showing you in the description of what's going to be marked as 342 Yankee Oscar. Looking at what's on the computer screen and in front of you, does that appear to be the same picture?
Yeah.
Now, have I just...
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Listen, everybody yesterday was like, Loon, we need you on live streaming this thug trial. I was giving some commentary on my Instagram and to my Patreon people. They was like, bro, so many people asked me, Loon, please go live as long as you can. So we're here today, man. Listen, Lil Woody's a bug out, right? This whole trial is a bug out, my nigga. This is a very interesting time. If you are someone paying attention to this, then you know how interesting of a time it is. But pay attention to today because things are going to get juicy.
Just zoom that picture in.
Yeah, you zoomed it in.
Okay, now that it's zoomed in, are you able to identify, looking at what's on the screen, who's in that picture?
Yeah.
Okay, who's in the picture?
Me?
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Who?
Shannon and D.
Okay, which D? Is that the little D we were talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. And does that... All right, you're right. This time the state would like to tender 342 Yankee Oscar into evidence.
Any objection to the state's 342 Yankee Oscar? Basis? Overruled, sir. It's admitted over objection and will be published as you see fit.
All right. Next, I'm going to show you what's been tendered and shown to defense counsel is 345 Yankee. Do you recognize anyone as in 345 Yankee?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Who do you recognize in 345 Yankee?
Me and a couple people from my neighborhood.
Who are those couple people from your neighborhood?
Lil D, Dunt.
Anyone else?
From this picture. Yeah. And another guy, he ain't from my neighborhood.
Okay. Do you know his name or his nickname?
Richie.
All right. Anyone else?
It looked like Shannon in that picture.
You're right. This time the state would like to tender 345 Yankee into evidence.
Any objection to 345 Yankee?
Just one clarification. Are these 345 Yankee O or 345 Yankee?
It'll just be 345 Yankee based upon we not having to redact it.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on your way in. I've had to start this thing over a couple different times, but make sure y'all hit the like button. We live. Let's get it.
Published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, I'm going to show you what's been marked as 356 Yankee Oscar.
Me and Shannon.
Okay. Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender 356 Yankee Oscar into evidence.
Any objection to state's 356 Yankee Oscar?
Cumulative, Your Honor.
All right, noted again. I'll admit it over objection and maybe published as you see fit.
Love to the Patreon people. I see y'all in here. Shout out to everybody that support us on Patreon. I got a surprise coming for y'all at the end of this month. Shout out to
Any
y'all.
objection to state's 346 Yankee?
Hey, this Woody nigga's a bug out though, man.
Sir,
Yesterday, I think everybody saw where
can I see it, please?
Brian Steele went and got held in contempt. I'm sure at some point we'll talk about that. Right now, we just want to watch what's going on with Wooden.
I'll note your objection, Mr. Short. Overruled. I'm going to admit an over objection and maybe publish as you see fit.
Thank you. And the last two, Mr. Copeland, it's gonna be 357 Yankee and 374 Yankee. Those are the last two.
Same three.
Would that be you, Shannon, and Little D?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender 357 Yankee and 374 Yankee into evidence.
Showing the objection to 357 Yankee or 374 Yankee.
374.
Let me take a look at 374, please.
Yeah, cuz a bug out. That nigga Wood a bug out. None of my Atlanta homeboys ain't tell me he a bug out like this. He a real bug out, boy.
I note your objection again, Mr. Sharp. I'm going to admit them over your objection. States 357 Yankee and States 374 Yankee, and they may be published as you see fit.
First one published, States Exhibit 342 Yankee Oscar. Now, looking at States Exhibit 342 Yankee Oscar, Mr. Copeland, are you able to see the date that's on the bottom right-hand side?
No.
All right. If you can zoom into the picture, please. Are you able to see the date now that it's zoomed in?
It look like it say 2014.
Okay. Does it say October 26th?
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
All right.
What
Now
are
we
some
just
of
go
y'all
over to the
thoughts,
picture.
man? I know we just gonna have a chill stream. I've been watching this by myself and talking
Now,
on
you can tell
Instagram
the
and stuff, and
jury,
then everybody like,
from
bro, you
left to right,
gotta
who's
get
all in that
on your channels.
From left to right.
But we're
left and
watching
right? From my
YSL Woody
From, yeah, we do it from your
on the stand where it feels like
D and Shannon. I don't know the boy next
I
to
don't
me.
know. It's just a weird
Okay,
energy
you don't know who that
surrounding
is.
him,
I
right?
don't know them.
I understand
All
that
right.
he
And
may be
so
trying
is
to
Shannon
do
the
whatever to
person
get
in the
from
white
up under
tank top
testifying. He also need to be aware
sitting
that
on the car?
testifying and getting immunity from the state does
Look
not
like it.
Okay. And
does not
is
relieve
Little D
you
the
from
one
being
with
prosecuted by the
gray hoodie
feds.
and the backwards cap?
The who?
The backwards hat.
Yeah.
All right. And then is that you with the hand symbol?
That's me throwing up.
Are you saying that what you're throwing up is the peace sign?
I'm saying that's me right there.
Okay. What are you throwing up, and
What you mean when I'm throwing up?
what is that? Is there any significance about your hand sign?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. Okay.
See what they're gonna
Any
do
particular
is
reason why you have like
they're gonna
a
hit him
Y
with
and an L?
perjury.
A who?
See, he
appears
would
to
have
look
done
like a
better.
Y.
Let me say this before we move on. He would have done better just telling them folks, hey, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing no testifying. Now that they actually have him on the court, now that they actually have him in the court testifying, now he runs the risk of them being able to say, you're lying, right? And hit him with perjury. I think they had already given him immunity prior to him even getting on the stage. On the stand. So I'm almost certain that he could have immunity and pled the fifth, and they would have locked him up for as long as this trial is. But yo, sometimes you gotta eat that. Like, you a big reason why everybody in this scenario, you slick gotta eat that. Thug been in there forever. A lot of these niggas been in there for a while. Like, bro, you might gotta eat 8 months. But now that he is on the stand and being difficult, now what's gonna happen is they're gonna go into a position of, all right, let's catch him lying. How do we catch him lying? Something that he told us isn't adding up with something he's saying on the stand, and we can prove that he knows that. We can prove that what he's saying he knows not to be true. And so they can hit him with perjury. Still a light charge, but it is something that I believe them to exercise here at some point. Also, I believe that with Brian Steele being held in contempt, I think that changes the fabric of this trial. As you notice, they said that there were 25 or 30 lawyers that showed up on Brian Steele's behalf. So now what this judge is about to be faced with is a long list of lawyers that were not interested in the case prior to, but now they're interested because you're clearly off the rails. Like you're off the rails, bro. You're locking up lawyers because they won't tell you. You skip past the fact that, granted, some information was gained in a way that's not familiar to the court and may be uncomfortable to the court, but that still doesn't mean that that situation didn't happen. I find it interesting that the judge is like skipping past the fact that they had a meeting with Woody and talking about who gave it to you. I'm gonna lock you up if you don't tell me who gave it to you. Yo, this trial is completely off the rails, man.
Y and an L.
Nah, I throw signs every day. They don't.
Okay. Next, looking at 345 Yankee.
And if I'm being honest, because I never met Woody, I met a lot of them niggas. I met Roscoe and a couple other niggas in the crew. But if I'm being honest, that Woody nigga seemed like he is a crash out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them niggas around know he a crash out. Like, know he with that bullshit. Because he giving off, I'm with that bullshit energy.
Richard.
You dig?
That's
he giving
Richard
off,
to the left of you.
I'm with that bullshit energy. To the DA, to whoever. He on some other shit, man. He's a pure crash out.
Okay, so the one standing with just the hoodie on, is that who you're pointing to?
You said to the left of me, right?
My left, but what are you considering?
My left. So this is my left, right?
Okay. So
So
that
that make him to my left?
if you're looking at it in that direction, yes. All right. Who's to the right of you then?
It looked like Shannon.
All right. And then who's the individual in the Bout That Action Rich Gang sweatshirt?
Say that again.
I'm also interested in how they
Who's talking
gonna.
about you?
Thug has not been in any
in
of
the
these
red
pictures, right? So
hoodie?
I'm also interested into how they're gonna
All right. And
tie
you know
Thug
the
into
other
this.
individuals,
I see they mentioned Shannon
other
Stillwell a
three
lot,
males
but
that you
what
know
is Young Thug got to do with that? I think this is where
I don't know them.
You don't know them. All right. Thank you so much.
this is where the conflict will be, and also I think that at some point he's gonna go straight hush mode on these people. I truly believe that.
Who's there with you in this picture?
Also, another tactic they're using is try to stand in front of the camera. They're doing that on purpose. I've been told that they're doing that on purpose to try to block some of the outside interference and things of that nature. This is, I'm telling you, off the rails.
Me and Shannon.
For sure, Shannon. All right. Now looking at 357 Yankee Oscar. Excuse me, not Yankee. This 357 Yankee. I apologize. Is that you, Shannon, and Little D? I know you said yes. What did I say?
Yeah.
Okay. 346 Yankee. Same. Is that you, Shannon, and Little D?
Yeah.
All right. 355 Yankee. Again, the same three? You, Shannon, Little D?
I thought I told you yesterday.
Okay, but you didn't tell the jury. So is that the same three people?
It's the same.
Okay, and then last but certainly not least is 359 Yankee. Again, the same three individuals. Is that a yes for the record?
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me take it down. Now, do you, Shannon, and Demikian have the same relationship today as when you took any of those pictures that we just looked at?
As to the answer, Your Honor.
I stand in objection.
Do you know someone by the name of Diamante Kendrick?
Street name.
Diamante or Yak?
I know of them.
You know of them?
Yeah, I know of them.
When you say you know of them, what does that mean?
I know of them. Like,
Have you ever met them before?
yeah,
Okay. Have you ever spent time with them before?
I've been around them.
Okay. Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Okay, that's fine. He's a rapper. Do you see him in the courtroom today?
I said, yes, he's a rapper. I see him in the courtroom. Yes.
Okay, you can identify him by article of clothing that he is wearing.
I think gray and white. White and gray, I don't know.
Where is he sitting next to someone?
Yeah, he's sitting next to the white man.
Okay. Y'all, please let the record reflect that Mr. Copeland has identified Mr. Kendrick.
It shall.
And do you know what do you call him?
By his rap name.
What's that?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Is Yet Gotti from Atlanta?
I don't know.
How did you first meet him?
I don't know.
Did you all go to school together?
No.
Are you sure the two of you did not go to school together?
Objection has to the answer.
I stand in objection.
Do you recall previously stating that you all went to school together?
I never went to school with him.
Okay. About when did you first meet him?
When I first meet him or when I first started hanging with him? Been around anything.
I'm going to ask first when you first met him.
What's your definition of meet?
When's the first time you remember meeting him for the first time?
Where I come from, we hear of people before we meet them, so I don't know, I don't know what you mean, meet. Like, I heard of him.
When is the first time you heard of him?
Through a friend of mine.
Okay. About how long ago was that?
I can't recall.
All right. If this year is 2024, was it when you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, adult life?
When I was done with school.
When you were done with school? You said you met him through a friend.
In court, they do a
did you all
thing
start hanging out with each other?
where they have to lay foundation, right? And so I think that's what you're dealing with. You're at some of the early stages of what
Personally?
Yes.
they're really going to get into as it pertains to this young man.
We didn't hang like me, Shannon, and D did.
Okay. So it wasn't like you and Shannon and Dee, but did the two of you hang out together?
We done been places like in the club, but we never rode in the car together.
Okay. Have you ever been anywhere else besides the club together?
Yeah, studio. I've been in the studio while they was in there recording.
Have y'all been anywhere else together?
I don't recall.
I know you said you all been out together. Have you all ever communicated with each other on the telephone? Communicated with him with FaceTime or any other video chat services?
I wasn't clear.
That wasn't my question. So I'm asking you a different question.
Ask me, have I ever communicated with him on telephone, right?
Have you ever spoken with him on the telephone?
I don't recall having no conversation with him on no phone, no.
It's also, I think the what you're watching also is his lawyer, someone has told him not to say yes or no, but to say, I don't recall. Because you can say, I don't recall, and then they can uncover it, and they can be like, well, I just didn't remember it. But if you say no, that's a definitive answer. Works a little different.
What you mean?
You said that you would go to the club, go to the studio. When was the last time you've been to the club with Yak?
The last time I've been in a club with him, we didn't go to the club together.
When's the last time that you've been with him at the club together?
I can't recall no specific date.
Okay. Was that this year in 2024? Just yes or no?
No.
What about in 2023? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. What about before 2015? Because 2015 you went to jail, right?
So what you mean before 2015?
So where you went to jail June 2015. You spent 4 years in jail, right?
I did.
Okay. So I'm asking you, before you went to jail, do you think that that was the last time you were in the club with him?
No, I saw him in the club and like when I got the feds.
Okay. So sometime in 2019.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
You know, the real interesting part about this
studio
is when Brian Steele and them get up there. That's when you really gonna get to see a fucking
Long
movie.
time ago.
In those times that you have been, in and out of jail, have you ever spoken to him while you were in jail?
Not to my knowledge. I can't recall if I have or haven't. I don't know. But I don't believe I have.
You have permission to approach.
Niggas up there fighting for their life, boy. This is not a small thing, bro. Hey, make sure y'all hit like and share on the video when y'all come in. I know y'all ain't used to me streaming, especially on like a Tuesday morning. But so many people like Loon, we gotta get you on while this stuff is going on. So we're here for a few hours. Make sure y'all hit like, y'all hit share. And if y'all want something to be answered on screen, then you have to send a super chat. That's how we run it. That's the business model of live. So we gotta adopt that business model. But this is a very interesting case, man. I want y'all to know, like, I believe Brian Steele to have now 30 other lawyers just thirsty to tell this judge that he's been wrong the entire time. There you see Young Thug, a picture of Young Thug in trial today, as one of his guys are up there testifying. I don't know if I've seen him look at Thug a lot. I don't know if I've seen Thug look at him. You got to be kind of careful with the looking at each other stuff. They can try to hit you with intimidating witnesses but Thug doesn't seem, because I'll be in there telling that nigga with my eyes, they gonna get you, bitch. I'm gonna make sure they get you. So I'm a little bit more childish, I believe, than what seems to be the case with Young Thug. It just feels like that they're just kind of in court looking away, not looking at each other. But if this is somebody that I really used to fuck with, I be waiting on him to blurt something out and say something to Thug. I just feel like we're on the heels of something happening crazy in this case. Like, I truly, truly think that.
Mr. Copeland, I want to show you what's been marked as 375 Yankee, 376 Yankee, and 377 Yankee. First out with 375 Yankee, do you recognize who's in 375 Yankee?
Which one is 375?
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes for the record? Is that a yes?
This
for the
375?
record? Yes.
Yeah, I recognize.
Who's in 375?
Me and Yak got it.
All right. Looking at 377 Yankee, do you recognize the individual in 377 Yankee?
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is in 377 Yankee?
Me, Yak got it, indeed.
Okay. And looking at 376 Yankee, do you recognize the people in 376 Yankee?
Me and Yak got it.
All right. You're right. This time the state would like to tender states to 375 Yankee, 377 Yankee.
I guess he don't care about Yak God is saying his name. He say his name freely.
Any objections to states? We'll just do by the numbers. 375 Yankee, anything?
Yeah, objection to 375 Yankee under
Cases.
under 404B.
Let me see it, please. Can I see them all?
Yes.
375, 376, and 377.
I have no objection to 376 or 377, Your Honor.
All right, then anybody else? Then they're admitted they're admitted. Counsel, can I approach, please?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. The judge hasn't been removed from this case, but we've saw in the past judges kind of misuse and abuse their power on the bench. We've saw it with Meek Mill. This case is has extremely more gravity attached to it because you got someone's life on the line, and then they cast a wide net with this RICO charge that they gave. But judges have an immense amount of power on that bench, man. It's almost scary. Like, it's almost like you're in America where the judge can look at the lawyer and confuse civil contempt with criminal contempt and lock him up under the guise of, I'm going to lock you up until you tell me what I want you to tell me. What? We talking about the lawyer to this case, bro. How can you rid this dude of his lead attorney? I'm just not understanding it. Strong case for an appeal. Strong case for an appeal. I mean, there's so many different things that's happened. You got Lil Woody done said, I'm gonna plead the fifth in front of the jury. You done had them have a meeting with Woody that Thug's defense team is saying coerced him into testifying. Like, all of these different things, bro. Like, it's a mistrial coming down the pipeline.
First start with 375 Yankee. And is that you and that guy who identified?
Yeah.
Okay. Now looking at 376 Yankee. Same That's you and that guy.
Yeah, we at the club.
Okay. Then looking back at 375 Yankee. Are y'all at the club?
No, we outside the studio.
Okay, that's where the studio is. Where's that studio?
That one was in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. And do you know what street that is? What street in Pittsburgh that is?
I'm from Canterville.
I know you're from Kansas. You said that was in Pittsburgh.
Right. I don't know all the streets in Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. And next at 377 Yankee. Tell us who's all in that picture.
Me, yeah, got it in Lil D.
Do you know that? Let me ask, is Lil D the individual with the gray cap on his head?
Yeah,
All right. And is Yak the person in the middle with the beige cap on his head?
yeah.
And then you the person taking the picture.
Is that what it looked like?
Okay. Is the person behind you, you not know who that is?
I never seen him a day in my life.
Except for in this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know?
Well, I really ain't even noticed him.
Do you know where you all are in this picture?
We had to be at the studio.
That appears in the studio too?
I don't recall the picture.
Okay. Now, do you and Yak, let me strike that. Do you know roughly when any of those pictures were taken?
What you mean?
Like time frame, year that those pictures were taken?
Yeah, like way back in like 14, 13, 14.
Do you and Yak have the same relationship today that you all had back in 2013, 2014?
I don't get what you mean.
Sure. Back in 2013, 2014, we see that there are a few pictures of you and Yak together. Is that?
So here's something else interesting that I noticed, right? I don't know if Woody knows this, but earlier, maybe yesterday, he said, yo, I took special ed classes. And he actually said that on the record. So now there can be no frustration with him not answering questions or saying, hey, I really don't know what you mean. Hey, I'm lost in what you're saying. What they're going to do is, though, at some point, and this is why I think he's going to go crazy in the actual court. At some point, they're going to play those videos where he was snitching. And he's going to have to say, that's me. Isn't that you talking to the jury? Because first he going to say, I don't recall saying that, or I don't know that I said that. And then what that's going to do is allow for the prosecution to say, Your Honor, we want to bring in these tapes that show Mr. Copeland cooperating and what he actually said to refresh his memory. So he's going to get all the way up to that video and still try to be playing this little game. And that's going to get that entire video brought into court. Watch what I tell you.
Fair to say?
Right?
Today, or recently, do you all hang out as much as you did back in 2013, 2014?
Our reference to Matthew Robinson Foundation almost sustained the objective for foundation.
Okay. Back in 2013, 2014, is that when you all would go to the club and go to the studio?
Yes.
Okay.
No, like 2014. Me and Yak didn't go to no club in like 2014, like I think.
Okay. So 2014.
I got out of jail 2013.
All right. So after you got out of jail, is that when you began going to the club?
No, I was going to the club before then, but I met Yak, I think like 2013 when I got out of jail, or 14.
Okay. Once you met Yak.
I don't really know yet, like.
I understand. Listen to what I'm about to ask you. Once you've met him and y'all started going to the club, whether that's in 2014, around that time, my question for you is, Do you all have the same relationship today that you all had back in 2014 when y'all were going to the club and hanging out?
Objection, Your Honor. Assumes facts, not an evidence.
You're right.
I'm over.
I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know what I don't.
Do you still go to the club with Yak Gotti?
I don't go to the club with nobody.
Okay.
I don't go to the club, period.
Do you go to the studio with Yak Gotti?
I don't go to no studio, period. I don't even leave out the house. I stay in the house all day.
Okay. When's the last time you spoken with Yak Gotti? Have you spoken with him this year? Yes or no?
How could I answer that?
Do you recall speaking to him in the year of 2024?
She gonna hit the man with a yes or
I
no.
don't speak to nobody.
Okay. In 2023, do you recall speaking to Yak Gotti? Yes or no?
I don't think I spoke to him in 2023.
Okay.
I remember seeing him at a club in 2019, not 2019, like 2020.
Okay.
Whichever one of the years I was out.
All right. And when y'all were when you saw him in the club, did you speak with him in the club?
I was trying to become an artist. I was trying to become a rapper. I saw him, and he was giving me advice on what I should do and how I should go forward with it.
Okay.
And he was trying to encourage me to do it.
To rap. That's in 2020.
This one of them years.
One of them years. Since that conversation when he was encouraging you to rap, have you had any other conversations with him?
I went back to jail.
Okay. Since you've been out, any conversations with him?
Well, he been.
Yes or no?
What? You
Yes
can't
or
do
no?
that. How you gonna? You can't.
Yes, no, do it.
Since you've been out.
Bitch, you can't tell a nigga he can't.
2020.
Oh man.
Yes or no? That's all I need. Have you had any conversations with Yak Gotti?
Not that I remember.
She just told that nigga to shh.
Next, do you know someone by the name of Jeffery Williams?
I heard of him. He's a rapper.
Okay. Do you know?
I know him. I don't know him as Jeffery Williams. I know him as Young Thug.
All right. And when you say you know him as a rapper, have you ever spent time with this individual?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. When is the first time you recall? Strike that. What do you refer to him as?
Young Thug.
Okay. When is the first time that you recall meeting Young Thug?
At the studio.
And roughly, what year are we talking about?
Before I went to jail.
Which time?
Right. Before that, I went to the feds.
So before 2015. Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yeah.
Can you identify him by article of clothing he is wearing?
Brown. With dread, sitting next to the bald head guy.
All right. Is anyone else on the other side of him?
You see him, huh? You see Thug looking like
Thank you.
pathetic.
You said that you met at the studio.
Thug
How did
looking
you
like
meet him at the
pathetic.
studio?
Your friend.
What friend?
I really didn't meet him. I just saw him at the studio when I was with a friend.
What friend were you with?
And I asked him, can I take a picture?
What friend were you with when you saw him at the studio?
Doc.
Was it anyone else?
Huh?
Was there anyone else?
There's a lot of people out there. I don't recall who all the people was.
Do you recall if Tick was present when you first met Miss Young Thug?
I can't recall.
You said that you met him at the studio and you asked to take a picture with him. You're right, I'm looping the question so I can get to my next question. When you met him at the studio and you took a picture, did your friendship or relationship develop after that time that you met him in the studio?
What you mean?
Did you all develop a friendship?
Did we develop a friendship?
Yes.
My definition of a friendship is not just knowing somebody or knowing who somebody is.
Okay. Did you start hanging out with him?
I started going to the studio a lot.
Okay. Did you start hanging with him outside of the studio?
I have.
Okay. When you hung with him outside the studio, where type of places would you hang out with him at?
See, this
But
dude,
most
he
of the
not
time,
smart
he be, like,
enough.
in the studio.
He not
My
smart
question
enough
is,
to
when
get
he was
around
not
some
in
of the
the
shit
studio
he's
and you hung
already
out with
said.
him, where would you
So
hang-
I believe that the courts are waiting on him to trip himself up, and then after they get all the information they can from him, they still gonna nail his ass to the cross.
Out with him at?
And I'm talking about Woody.
We used to do fun stuff, like go to like bowling alleys and stuff like that. He went to the kids' football game, I remember. I've been to the club with them. I've been on shows, let me correct that.
You said on shows?
Yeah, like when I watch them perform.
All right.
Another thing with you rap niggas
And
too,
this-
right? There's a lot of you niggas that want a big entourage and want everybody to be looking at you, you know, like y'all deep when you come in the club. All that shit come back to hunt you. Like now, he dealing with someone that could be framed as a person that just was around some people that I know. And then I know the energy from these niggas like Woody. They come with that crash out energy. So they tell you like, yeah, you know, and they do shit. Found a nigga. They do certain things to try to get your attention as the guy, the head honcho with the paper. And then you start utilizing them for little shit. Sometimes they'll do shit you ain't even asked them to do. I remember one time when I was in the street, someone car that I know had got stolen. And a nigga that I wasn't even cool with went and got the car back from the niggas and gave it to the girl who called, was like, yo, tell Loon I got that back for you, man. That shit ain't about nothing. So what happens is these are dudes that try to force themselves into your crew and around you. And unfortunately, when you deal with street people, they do need an army of such to protect their interests and their brand and their money and whatever else that could be going on. You know, I got to keep it PG-13.
The shows, the bowling alleys, the club, are we talking about in 2014, 2015, or some other time?
2014 only.
2014 only.
Someone in the comments said, what did Woody tell in that interrogation room and who name did he drop? Man, he dropped so many people's name. He talked about murders. He talked about Thug being a gangster or wanting to be a gangster when he really should be wanting to be a rapper. He was trying to finesse. He told, now, ain't no sugarcoating that, but he was trying to get the heat off him and put it on Thug. But bro, you talking to the police. Like, goddamn, y'all gonna go and tell the police that about me? And then the police gonna take it without substantiating it. They just believe him and go with it. It's like, yo, come on, man. Y'all got to do more than that. Yo, bro, I'm telling y'all, this case will be coming back on the appeal.
In 2014, about how often would you see each other on a monthly basis?
I don't keep up with that type of stuff.
Okay. Did you see him a lot in 2014? Was it quite often? Were you always around? Or did you see him once in a blue moon?
Well, to know he was a rapper and successful, I seen him a lot. To me, I think I saw him a lot.
Are you referencing like seeing him on television or being around him in person?
What you mean?
You just said, because he's a rapper, I saw him a lot.
Yeah, because you don't see rappers a lot. So,
And I'm sorry, I just want to clarify. When you're talking about seeing him, are you talking about physically being in his presence or seeing him like on television?
I
Say
knew
both.
people that be around him.
Okay.
And I used to see him a lot. Every time I seen him, I saw him.
All right.
I was happy to see him.
Besides seeing him in person, would you ever speak with him over the phone?
Meaning?
Did you ever talk to him? Let's first start old school. Pick up the phone, dial some numbers. Would you ever talk to him over the phone?
I wonder if they gonna ask about FaceTime.
Have me and him had conversations?
Yes.
I can't recall if we did or didn't.
Okay.
He's been
Let me
told.
ask you
He's been
FaceTime.
told that.
Have you-
He's been told the I don't recall thing, and I think that is good for him to be able to say and not get caught up. Because me not recalling, I'll reiterate this: me not recalling is not me lying. That's me saying, oh, y'all got some video showing that I did. Oh man, I didn't remember that. Right? So it's not a lie. It's more so, I don't, maybe not.
You and Mr. Williams ever FaceTime with each other?
I can't recall.
I can't recall. Let me just ask you generally, in 2014, with any of your friends, Shannon, Little D, Yak, well, you said you didn't speak to Yak. Would you FaceTime any of them?
Say that again?
I knew they would
Shannon
ask about
Little
that
D,
fucking
would you FaceTime
FaceTime, man. I literally just
Back in
said that.
2015.
I don't like FaceTime.
I know you don't like it. That's not my question.
Know what I'm saying? So most of the time I talk on the phone, I call regular.
Okay, but have you?
I don't recall talking on FaceTime.
You don't recall talking about FaceTime?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. And I don't. You had to ask that again because I ain't for sure what you're asking.
Sure. I'll ask you again. 2014, 2015, have you ever, I'll wait till you finish.
I'm tired.
You and I both. Okay.
I sustain the objection.
Back in 2014, have you ever FaceTimed with Little D? Ever? Back then?
Lil D?
Lil D.
He should say no to all the FaceTime questions because I think it's against the law for them to have those videos. Because I could be talking regular to my gal
You
on the
probably have
FaceTime and just
FaceTime.
get naked. And
don't.
they ain't supposed to
Okay.
be able to look
What
at
about
shit
you?
like that.
I don't.
Okay. What about the person you identify as Young Thug?
The person identified as who?
Young Thug.
I don't.
Okay. What about, you said no to Yak.
If I FaceTime with him, I probably screenshot it and post it on social media just to show people that I probably was on the phone. But I don't remember if I ever did have it.
Okay. Now, you said that you would spend time with him, whether it's a studio or in other places. Were you close to Young Thug as you were Shannon and Little D?
That's not established on no foundation.
I sustain the objection.
Did you speak often with Young Thug back in 2014? Did you talk to him often?
Not that I recall.
Not that you were. Your permission to approach?
You may.
Someone in the chat says, remember when
I'm
Thug
showing
did that
defense
video?
counsel what's been marked as Stacey did with 348 Yankee. And we are going to move to admit excerpts of what's already been admitted, which is going to be 164 Echo Golf, 164 Echo Hotel, 164 Echo Juliet.
And so these two women here, what I think they are assistants, and they're also, Brian still has his own people who are recording the case and taking notes. I don't know. I don't see the killing thug eyes that I probably have. Like, I just be so torn, dog. That's why I don't be around people, because I'll be so damn like, man, I'm going to get this nigga, boy. Boy, I'm going to make sure they get your bitch ass. But, again, criminal activity, I always tell y'all, should be outlawed. You should not be doing criminal activity in 2024. There's way too many ways to make money. And so I want to be clear about that for any of my younger artists. I'm sorry, any of my younger audience. On the young boys that watch me, criminal activity, that's 2-3 decades ago. You know, right now it's about hustling, taking care of your family, getting you some money, getting out the way, being there for your children, and making sure your mother and all these people that you love are living their best life, as well as you, taking care of yourself. But, you know, for the sake of this trial and conversation, we're going to deal with this with a mentality of part of our culture, right? There's a very small percentage of our culture who rules are that they need to get up there and say nothing despite what happens. I was even taught that way. Like, if I would have got shot out there in the street, I had to eat that. You know what I'm saying? I would never be able to go to court. Like, these things are dumb. And so I've made sure not to pass that on to my children as it pertains to this snitching thing, right? But I did pass to my children that taking responsibility is the highest form of adulthood. And so you got to be responsible for what you do. And I'm not a fan of someone taking the whole crew down. But I know in my heart and in my eyes and in my brain, sitting on this stand right here and dealing with one of my homeboys doing this, I would just have, I would want revenge. Like, I'm a counselor, so revenge is big for me. Now, you don't go in the trick bag fucking with revenge, but it's always something that you consider, like to get back a motherfucker. So the two big dogs in the case are this lady with the green on, which is Miss Love, and Brian Steele. Those are the two that really are at each other, like beefing damn near with this shit. The judge didn't want to take that defeat yesterday when it comes to Brian Steele, right? So he ended up making Brian Steele do weekends. But you know that they gonna get that appealed before the weekend come out. He got 30 lawyers working on that all day long. They're gonna get that appeal before the week comes out, and I'm almost certain that Brian Steele won't do any time. Maybe one weekend, maybe 2 weekends. He will not do 20 days. They're going to file an appeal on that. the judge has seemingly confused civil contempt with criminal contempt. He's using the protocol for civil attempt while trying to use gestures of criminal attempt. And what that means is that he is trying to force Brian Steele to say something to satisfy his own thought process about his court. But while doing that, he's holding him in jail until he tells. That is a criminal contempt. This should be a civil contempt, because according to the lawyers, the judge was a witness and cannot also be the judge. So if the judge is gonna say, I'm holding you in contempt because you have information that we need to know about because it compromises the court, he has to be a witness of that in front of another judge. He can't just make all the decisions on his own. Like, you're in contempt and I'm sentencing you to jail and it's fair. It's like, that's not how the judicial system works. And he's abused his power in a number of ways, if you ask me. Again, I do know this is an extremely hard case. This case is monumental. It's very extensive. And so I imagine that there'll be some mistakes, but not from the judge. The judge is handling this wrong, in my opinion. And Woody's up there yawning and shit with his homeboy on trial for his life. Like, this is a real movie, bro. Like, this is a 100% a movie. This is straight out of Power or some shit. Really bigger than Power.
Mr. Coleman, I'm going to show you what's been marked as 348 Yankee, 368 Yankee, 369 Yankee, 370 Yankee, 371 Yankee, 372 Yankee, 373 Yankee. First starting at those. Can you take a moment, just flip through all of them and tell me if you recognize the people in all those pictures?
What I think also the state is waiting on
What you want me to do?
Go flip through and just tell me if you recognize.
is that at some point he's going to get tired of moving this slow. Right? Your mind is just going to be like, all right, just come on. Like, I don't know how much longer he can stall out, and like his own brain is going to get in his way where he's going to be like, yo, I want to get this over with at this point. Like I'm ready to just get out of here type shit. And they're waiting on that. And it is interesting they won't release the transcripts from that conversation that was had between Woody, the judge, and the prosecution. I don't even see how they can be a thing, but again, the judge, in my opinion, is overstepping all kind of boundaries. But it is, as I said earlier, an astronomical amount of power that judges in America hold. This is why it's important to vote for judges in certain things in your area, because these are the same people that are sending your family away for life, and things of that nature, and being unreasonable in many cases.
Have you had an opportunity to look at all those?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start there. Look at 373 Yankee. We recognize who the 373 Yankee.
What about it?
Who was in the picture?
It's blurry.
That's one. 372 Yankee. Who was in 372 Yankee?
Me, yeah, got it, and Young Thug.
Do you know the other people in that picture?
It's like the other artist, Duke.
Okay, anyone else?
I seen this guy, but I don't know him.
You don't know him.
Yeah, I seen him, but I don't know his name.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, this time the state would like to send the state's exhibit 372 Yankee into evidence.
Any objection to state's 372 Yankee? All right, hearing none, 372 Yankee is admitted, may be published as you see fit.
Thank you. Next, I'm handing you 371 Yankee. You recognize the 371 Yankee.
Yeah,
Who was that?
me and Young Thug.
Your Honor, this time state like 10 to 60 with 371 Yankee.
Any objection to states 371 Yankee? All right. It's admitted and may be published as you see fit.
370 Yankee.
Right, I know it was in the chamber. Someone said because it was in the chambers, not in the courtroom. Yeah, I know it was in the chambers. It just, the defense is entitled to, one, know about the meeting and be present. So I don't know how they got away with that. I mean, of course, there's legal jargon to get around it, but we know in interest of fairness that the defense attorney should have been present, at least one of them.
All right, it's admitted and may be published as you see fit.
Especially after this dude said he gonna plead the fifth.
368 Yankee.
Same.
Is there someone else in that picture besides you and Young Thug?
Let me see. Yeah.
Do you know who that other person is?
I know him as a rapper.
What
Uh,
rapper is it?
Birdman.
All right. Your Honor, this time state like 10 to 368 Yankee in the evidence.
Any objection to states 368 Yankee? All right, it's admitted, may be published as you see fit.
And for this round, who do you recognize as 348 Yankee?
I'm sorry, what's up?
348 Yankee.
It's blurry.
This time I want to show 348 Yankee. I'm going to show 348 Yankee on the computer. Mr. Copeland, looking at the computer screen, does the picture on the computer appear to be the same picture that's in front of you?
You say it again?
Does it look like the same picture?
Kind of.
When you say kind of, what do you think is the difference?
You said what's the
You
difference?
said kind of.
It looked like the same picture.
Okay. Now scrolling in, is this a clear picture for you of who is in that picture?
What you mean?
You said that this was blurry.
Right.
Are you able to see this clearer?
Right?
Who's in the picture?
Young Thug, me, and Shannon.
Do you know anyone else in that picture?
Yeah, it looked like Lil D.
Which little D?
Lil
Because
D?
there's more than one little D, right?
Yeah, it's the other Lil D.
Okay. How do you distinguish this little D from the other little D? Is this little D from somewhere?
What you mean?
How do you distinguish this little D in this picture from little D that you call
You should say by his face.
That's my son
Okay.
and Lil D.
Your Honor, this time stay with like the 10 to 60 to 348 Yankee into evidence.
Any objection to states 348 Yankee? Sure. Okay.
I still believe he should have took it he should have went ahead and went to jail and said, fuck that. I ain't doing no talking. Y'all give me whatever y'all gonna give me.
No, not on behalf of Mr. Williams.
Anyway, any other counsel? All right, it's admitted and may be published as you see fit. Before you do that, though, Miss Hilton, ladies and gentlemen, how about taking a brief comfort break? About 10 minutes? All right? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be in recess about 10 minutes. All right? All rise.
So the court is in recess. What kind of questions y'all got, man? It says, how many you think if Thug gets out, he still be running around with these so-called homies? Negative. He may run around with some homies, but he gonna flush all of that shit. That's if he get out scot-free. What I think to happen is I said this at the beginning of it, that they'll get 3, 4, 5 years out of Young Thug and then they'll let him out. And whether he beat the trial or not, they still got 5 years out of him, a bunch of money. They disrupted his life. They've disabled what they are saying is a game. Yeah, I don't think Thug is going to adopt the same homeboys that got him facing a life sentence. You got to think he's very powerful. He's famous. It ain't nothing for him to replace some crash outs or his homeboys. Like, that ain't nothing. That's for the niggas that get out the hood. I'm sorry, that's for the people that get out of jail and got to come right back to the same neighborhood and share the store with the nigga that told on them and shit. They probably can get over it at some point, but for you to do it like this, nah. His whole shit is on the line, bro. His whole life, like, everything's on the line for him right now. So I don't see that being the case. They said 10 minutes, but I think it's been longer than 10 minutes that they've been in recess. It says, imagine your real dad finding out another guy calls you his son 20 times a day. Well, what people don't know is that son shit, when it comes to the ghetto, is really a form of saying that's my hitman. I don't know if he's using it that way, but when a street dude is like, man, my little son, man, like, that's him saying that's the nigga that I'm gonna send to come get you. That don't mean I love him like a son or I'm taking care of him. That's just, man, that's the nigga I'm gonna send to come get you, get the job done. Like Boosie would call Marlo Mike his son. You know, a lot of people in the street, the little dudes that come up under them, they call them their son. These niggas be having real daddies. I ain't never been called nobody's son. You know what I mean? I ain't never been called nobody's son. That ain't my get down. But also in the gangbanger community, you'll watch what people are. Like if I was a gangbanger, right? Then the people that come under me will be Baby Looney. So I'll be Looney, then it'll be Baby Looney, then it'll be a Tiny Looney, then it'll be, you know what I'm saying? It go down. And these little dudes will really have to be under my protocol, under my program. And go off of what I say. But I don't think he's talking son like I burped him and fed him. I think he's more so saying that in the street, that's you know, that's my comrade. That's the one come up under me. You know, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. I wonder why they took a 10-minute break at 11 o'clock when clearly they're gonna go to lunch here in a second. So I don't know what that was about. No Steel has weekend jail for 10 weeks. That's if I believe that not to happen. I think that when you talk about the jail stuff and Brian Steele, they're going to file an appeal. And at some point, he's going to be out of that. So I don't believe that to be the case. That's what I just said. Why is he taking a comfort break knowing he's about to go to lunch? He makes no sense. Release the transcripts unredacted. I agree. No, I believe so someone asks, do you think Young Thug lawyer is going to be able to cross and it be as calm as it is now in the courtroom? No, because unless he cooperates with Thug lawyer and trying to call himself helping Thug. But what I imagine Thug lawyer to do is to get up there and grill him and make him out to be a liar, make him out to be a clout chaser who wanted to be around Thug, but he really doesn't know Thug. You don't know this, you don't know that. So I believe Brian Steele to create separation or attempt to create separation between him and Thug, while the state's position is to create a close knit between those two. And they're having issues doing that because of the way he's answering questions. I know if I'm on the other side with no dog in the fight, that the jury is thoroughly confused. Because you ask him something, he said, "What you mean?" It could be something as simple as, "Is that you wearing the blue shirt in this video?" "What you mean?" And so the lady has to keep her composure because he damn near gonna trick her into getting upset. You know, he gonna damn near, this is a test of her composure. She got to keep her composure while asking these questions. Because if she goes the wrong route with this, it blows up in her face. But see, this is just the foundational part. The part right now with her speaking to YSL Woody is not even the meat and potatoes. She's laying foundation so he can't get from around certain things. Right? Well, you said you knew Thug. Now you don't know this? Well, you said he was your son. How wouldn't you know this about him? Well, you said you went to the club with him. How didn't you know? You know, so these are the games that they're going to play down the road. I just don't know. I don't know. And I am interested in that conversation that the judge, the prosecution had with Woody outside of the presence of any defense legal team. I'm definitely interested in what that conversation was about, because prior to that, he was pleading the fifth. He wasn't cooperating. All of a sudden, he cooperated. Now, he has to be aware that even in the event that the states give him immunity, they can already be in communication with the feds and saying, pick him up. We have enough on him. We gave him immunity, but he's not cooperating in the way we want, so we want him to be picked up by the feds and charged with some of this stuff he's admitted to in some of these interrogation rooms or what have you. And so if they're able to get him to say, yes, he said that, or yes, that did happen, no matter what he says at this point, I think he's in trouble with the state. If he gets up there and testifies in any capacity, helps them in any way, I still believe them to come down the turnpike either with a federal charge to try to get him a perjury. There's something that I think the state is going to insert in this scenario to show dominance over him, and also to show that we had a deal and you put our case on the ropes. Because the case law says you cannot have someone on the stand that's going to plead the fifth. He clearly got up there and pleaded the fifth. Now, how do they get around that? I've heard them mention the fact several times that, he pleaded the fifth, but it was on a question of what was his name. Now, I don't know if the questions matter as much, because the jury still heard him plead the fifth, and that is putting an extreme amount of pressure on the defense to explain why he was on the case if he's going to plead the fifth, one. And two, they've mentioned this YSL Woody dude in this case so many different ways. They've spoke to him being a killer, him being the one that says X, Y, and Z took place, him being the person. He's damn near like their lead witness. And so for him to be in a position to say, I plead the fifth as your lead witness, if he would have stood on that, it would have literally canceled that case. If Woody would have stood on, I ain't saying nothing, I'm pleading the fifth, they probably would have had to let that dude go, man. I'm telling you. They would have had to let that dude go. Now, so he's going to come back and say, let's go to lunch. Yeah, I mean, and then I see comments here spin. Woody definitely looks like a shooter, but that don't mean nothing. Woody got that look in his eyes, but that don't mean nothing. We eat tough meat too. You ever ate a tough piece of steak? These niggas be tough now, but they can get ate too now. You know what I'm saying? I'm from where the killers can get killed. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this kind of pressure on you, like, This is a lot. But my homeboy didn't tell me this little nigga was a bug out. He's a bug out, son. He up there looking at the judge like he want to smack him in some more shit. So court is on a break of 10 minutes that is turned into 20 minutes. Someone says Brian Steele is supreme man. If I ever need an attorney, I'm hiring Brian Steele. Then Brian Steele went up there and said, yo, when I do my time, I want to be with Young Thug. Yeah, he gonna be my celly. I don't think Steele has any problems if he gets locked up. I don't think anyone's gonna attack Brian Steele. I think him to be in the clear. I actually think they celebrate Brian Steele if he goes in. Right? I mean, I think it's very disheartening, and it's unforeseen because this dude has 33 years of practice in law, and for a judge to hold me in contempt because I won't say something is crazy. I wonder, and a lot of lawyers are saying that the judge is probably going to, a lot of lawyers are saying the judge is probably going to retire after this. I mean, the appeals and the legislation, the appeals and all of the complaints coming after this, bro, is going to be monumental. It's going to be monumental, bro. So I believe him to retire after this, too. The judge and Steele back there throwing hands. He say the judge and Steele back there throwing hands. That's what the meeting was about. They ain't said nothing else about Rich Homie Quan. I don't think Rich Homie Quan coming up. But I'm guaranteeing y'all a lot of people that is on the bar and lawyers are upset with Steele's treatment. This is worldwide. I mean, not worldwide, but nationwide. Every lawyer group, Facebook groups, all these different things, they are rallying behind Steele. And you don't want 200-300 lawyers filing shit, looking into shit, bro. On a very messy case that it's already a messy case. The judge need to worry about keeping his seat, and the DA office needs to be replaced. This bar needs to be their future. Yes, that is true. So the meeting that we were speaking about that the judge had with Woody and the prosecution was also illegal because once you've been sworn in to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, you can no longer have those kind of meetings. I don't know how he plans on getting around that. Like, that is interesting to me, bro. And for him to just look over the fact that, yo, y'all had a meeting. Tell me who told you. And if you don't tell me, you're going to jail. Tell me who told you. Hey, bro, whoa, let's talk about the meeting. You done got mad because I found out. It's like the girl find out you cheating. She go on your phone and find out you got another baby and you tell her, oh, no, I'm done fucking with you. You done broke my trust. You understand me? You going in my phone. You dig? You done broke my trust. That's kind of what you doing, bro. You got to address the fact you got another child, family. Like, I don't know how they getting around that. This is bigger than Young Thug. That could be true. I do see that Fannie Willis has fell back on her prosecution of Donald Trump. Yeah, they have not gave Thug them any kind of leeway. They have ruled against Thug in almost every objection. They've allowed stuff in that's been questionable at best. So, I mean, I believe that this case is gonna come back on appeal at some point. I definitely don't see how they continue to act like he's gonna do a life sentence. I don't see him doing life for this. Will he do some time? He's already doing time, but I don't see him doing life for this. I just don't. Someone says you don't hold a lawyer or any member of the bar in contempt for not revealing a source that helped expose corruption. That is a good point, and that's basically what has happened. And they're trying to keep him in a scenario where he has to do weekends for not telling. So a lot of people are saying lunchtime when he gets back, because people watch this trial know that's kind of how he does. Yeah, I think the judge is gonna retire after this uncut. I definitely believe that. You know, I don't think how he's handled this case is gonna be in his favor moving forward. So I think he's on his way out. Hold on, this is my mama calling. Yeah, but is he gonna just keep us like, what he gonna do, man? He gonna just keep us on, what are you doing? Who the fuck is this calling this from? Yeah, man. So, what y'all think? What is the key? Because if he don't understand why Thug wanted to step so hard, so Thug the shot caller with the money and Woody the victim of the street politics. I don't understand how they can take that from someone else. Oh man, he want to be a gangster so bad. Says who? Who told you that? Did I tell you that? Like, that's hearsay in itself. How you know I want to be a gangster? Because of how I talk? Who I hang around? I don't even hang around you niggas. You niggas come around me. If I'm Thug, like, I just have a studio open fucking with you niggas. You niggas come around me. I don't really come around you dudes. Like, I don't know how they gonna look at that, man.
You, Shannon, and Little D.
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender 357 Yankee and 374 Yankee into evidence.
That man got his eyes closed, bro. This shit is not gonna do nothing.
To 357 Yankee or 374 Yankee.
357, cumulative, 374, cumulative, and total.
Let me take a look at 374, please. I note your objection again, Mr. Sharp. I'm going to admit them over your objection. States 357 Yankee and states 374 Yankee, and they may be published as you see fit.
First one published, States Exhibit 342 Yankee Oscar. Now, looking at 6 Exhibit 342 Yankee Oscar, Mr. Copeland, are you able to see the date that's on? One person to the left of you, right of you.
What you mean?
Is that little D to my right?
This little D in the picture with me.
Okay. And do you know about how long ago you took this picture?
No, I don't.
And we keep saying little D or your son. Do you know his given name? His real name?
No.
Do you know his real first name?
You said you meet young Garlington.
Okay. And is that the person that you know is little D?
This little D right here in the picture with me.
And is that Demekion Garlington?
This little D right here.
Is that Demekion Garlington?
If this was your name, then yes.
Okay. Now showing you 380 Yankee. Can you zoom in to the picture? Now looking at 380 Yankee, is that you sitting on the step in a white t-shirt and blue jeans and black and gray sneakers?
Yes.
Okay. And who's the other person you said that you knew in this picture?
The ugly boy right here.
Okay. And what is that? What is the individual that you pointed to? What's their name?
Coco.
All right. And in this picture, the person behind you with the 30 deep B. I think it's BITXH shirt on. Do you know who that is?
I can't recall who that is.
You cannot recall. Does that look like Demekion or Little D? Does that look like Little D?
The head cut off.
Okay. If you could, can you turn your chair around and look behind you?
All right, can we bring Mr. Copeland back? First, is everybody back? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Steele's not back.
Can Mr. Copeland come on back? Mr. Copeland, come on.
I'm waiting on Brian Steele first.
He's standing right there.
Who?
Copeland.
No, Brian Steele.
Okay. And he walking in the door now.
Okay. All right.
This nigga finna take lunch, watch.
Sergeant Ingram, are all our participants back, sir?
Yes, sir. Everybody's...
Okay, counsels, if I get you to take your seats and gather your thoughts, please. Okay, before we call in our jury, it has been brought to the court's attention that Mr. Copeland's counsel, Ms. Bumpus, would like to be released. Is that correct, madam? Yes, sir. Okay, all right. Sir, Mr. Copeland, is it your desire to release your counsel at this point in time?
She fired.
She's fired? Okay. So do you wish to represent yourself in these particular...
Damn, what the fuck is going on?
Any issues
He
you
just
may
fired his
have in
lawyer.
this particular...
Do I got a choice?
I'm sorry?
Do I got a choice?
Yes, you do.
And what are those?
You can keep your lawyer that you have right now.
I don't want her.
All right. You could certainly hire another lawyer, or the court could appoint you a lawyer.
What I need a lawyer for?
Right.
What
No, it's just the court is just asking you whether it's your choice, sir.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Ms. Bumpus, did you file an entry of appearance? All right.
Yo, why did he
you,
just
under
fire
the
his
Uniform Supreme
lawyer
Court
for?
Rules, file a motion to withdraw pursuant to the Uniform Superior Court rules? I mean, I know you give an oral notice, but usually it has to be in writing, and he has 10 days to object.
Well, Judge, just
Say again?
I was never his counsel. Attorney Melnick was his counsel, and I was stepping in as a courtesy for judicial efficiency. But if the court's desire for me to file a motion to withdraw,
Well, given the fact that you have represented Mr. Copeland at this point in time, it would seem appropriate that you do need to, in fact, file a formal withdrawal. Even though you didn't enter one, you de facto entered this case by your representation of him, or you telling the court that you did, in fact, represent him. So at this point, I'm not inclined to release you until that's done.
okay, I'll get that done now, Judge.
Okay, all right. And he's got 10 days to go ahead and do that. So you're still going to have to be here until because he gets that particular period of time to go ahead and decide whether or not he'd like to hire a lawyer. That's the whole reason for the 10 days.
Well, I don't want to hire no.
Hold on. Not yet. You get that right as a party. Okay.
I do get right.
You do, yes. You get that right to hire a new lawyer. You get the right to do a couple things. One, to decide whether or not you're going to release her.
Okay.
Okay. Two, you get to decide whether or not you want to get another lawyer to be with you.
Okay, I need to understand what just happened. Like, what the fuck just happened? He just fired his lawyer. Maybe what is
to kind of decide. But what I'm going to do at this point in time is, since she's representing you, I'm going to make her file a formal notice to withdraw. She's orally told you at this point in time she wants to withdraw. But you're on the stand. You're testifying at this point in time. So I'm not going to let her withdraw at this point.
Well, Your Honor, I just would like to say, before he started testifying, I was fired.
I don't know that, ma'am. That's not something that I have notice or knowledge of. So, that's the whole purpose of the rule, so that we can flesh out all those things. So at this point in time, I'm not inclined to let you go at this point. I'm sorry that you put yourself in this particular situation with you and Mr. Melnick or whatever, but, Mr. Copeland does have rights in this particular circumstance. So file a proper notice to withdraw. I'll give once it's filed, if you file it today, I'll give Mr. Copeland the 10 days, but until such time as I rule upon that and he gets that and gets an opportunity to think about what he'd like to do, I'll go ahead and insist that you remain with us while he's on the stand.
Okay, Judge.
Okay. Madam, I have one other bit of business that...
Also, can I approach, Your Honor, with the state?
No. What does he want?
No.
I don't want to say it in open court.
Here we go again. This where all the bullshit start, boy. What in the fuck?
All right, State, Ms. Bumpus, come on up.
Yo, this is crazy, bro. He just fired his lawyer. Now,
And I don't believe you have the right to be present, sir.
who? He's keeping all of Thug's lawyers away from.
Case law to that effect. I want to object on the grounds that we are now being excluded from a conversation about material witness in
Bro.
material witness and a conversation between the court and that counsel for that witness and the state. You're now conducting a meeting with the court without the ability for me as the attorney for the defense in our case.
How they keep having these conversations without the defense attorneys there, bro? What the fuck is going on?
That ex parte communication creates an appearance. I say this with tremendous reservation, and I almost want to apologize for saying it, but I think it creates an appearance of impropriety and bias on the part of this court. I don't mean to suggest Your Honor is doing that, but it creates the appearance of it, so I have to let you.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'd like to just add, I'll adopt everything Sam said, but I'd like to just add also under Article 1, Section Paragraph 12 for the Constitution, it also denies Mr. Williams
So they objecting to say, why can't we be there? Which makes perfect sense if you asking me.
Add to that.
They're objecting saying, yo, why can't we be here?
Uniform Superior Court Rule 4.1, which prohibits this type of communication. I'll cite to the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct, Rule 3.4, which prohibits this type of communication. And I'll cite to the court.
Everything should be on the record. I don't understand how this judge continues to go to the back, talk with these folks, and then y'all can't even hear it? What?
I'm going to cite to the court.
Yeah, but that's not ex parte, bro. That's not legal. This dude has been sworn in. Once a defendant is sworn in, all that ex parte shit go out the window. It got to be extreme circumstance.
Trial judge should not attempt to intimidate witnesses.
Yeah, that's crazy. Glasses off to read better is crazy.
And it also creates a presumption that the court should have to recuse itself. In that case is Hargis versus State, and that's 319 Georgia Act 432. That is the Georgia Court of Appeals case from 2012. And I thank you all.
Your Honor, I just look back for all these.
Okay.
They done already talked. Man, ain't that a bitch? He talked while they was objecting. Yo, bro, they running a mob scheme in this motherfucker,
given an
boy.
opportunity to be able to respond to that on the record and to point out that the distinction between the assertions by counsel for the defendants and what is going on here, and the assertion being made that a trial judge should not intimidate or coerce a witness. Actually, can we?
Yeah, hold on a second. Mr. Can I get you to step outside for just a second? Let me finish this argument, please.
Yeah, they don't want Woody to hear that because
Yeah, just step outside.
it's gonna make sense to him. Yeah, that is what they doing. Man, this shit here wild, man.
All right, Mr. Copeland's left us.
Now the case law don't say that, bro.
Your Honor,
And they'll
I
win that in
believe
an
Ms.
appeal, bro.
Lummis wants to
Someone
address
says I
what
disagree. The judge is able to
strictly
do. Hold on. Someone says I disagree. The judge is able to do what they want to do. The case law doesn't say that, but this is prime time. Let's pay attention.
solely the civil matter that involves the motion of the state to compel her client, Mr. Copeland, to testify, the offer from the state of immunity should Mr. Copeland testify, and the motion of the state to the court to sanction Mr. Copeland if he fails to comply with an order of the court pursuant to 24-5-507. That matter is a separate matter from the trial that is going on now. It is akin to the state moving the court for a material witness warrant for a person who refuses to obey a properly served subpoena. It is not something to which either defendant is a party. And for that reason, it is our position that counsel for the defendants are simply wrong in this matter, to which the state as a moving party and her client as the person for which the state made that motion are involved only, then the parties to that matter are the state and Mr. Copeland. And so for that reason, I believe that Ms. Bumpus is entitled to address the court with the other party in that matter, which is the civil contempt order entered by the court.
And again, this is unfolding. What I think I'm hearing is they're about to take Woody back into contempt. I don't know what's going on, but it's unfolding as we're looking at it. It seems like he fired his lawyer because he's about to go to jail anyway. And he may have took their advice as to what to say. And that's speculation without having all the information. But let's continue to look.
On the motion of the state, at the time that the state moved the court to compel the testimony itself.
All right. I don't know what she's going to say, so that may make it not subject to ex parte or not. But what does he want to tell me, madam? Can you tell me the subject matter?
Yeah, about when he said he fired.
Well, no, we have to have a hearing on that issue. We have to have a hearing on that.
Okay.
We'll have to have a hearing on that issue. That's not an ex parte matter, okay?
Well, what I'm trying to say is something that happened during the ex parte matter, which is why I don't want to say it in open court.
No, I'm good. Go ahead and reduce it to writing.
That nigga said I'm good, man. This shit is crazy. This nigga said I'm good to a lawyer.
Back in, your client needs to be able to have a say-so on whether or not you can withdraw. And he should get another, and if he wants to have you and wants to get another lawyer. So that's it. No,
she don't got enough information to go back and forth.
Ex parte, okay?
So,
done?
As a result, Your Honor, if there's no ex parte communication, then I'm withdrawing my objection.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear to the court.
That's fine.
The court doesn't.
No, that's fine. You're doing your job. No, Mr. Apple, I wouldn't say that. Okay.
I'm withdrawing the objection only with respect to this particular meeting.
Okay.
I reserve it with respect to any other ex parte.
All right. No problem. Okay, can we bring Mr. Copeland back in, please? Can we hold off until Mr. Copeland comes back in? Okay. Nice.
Nigga, this shit here going crazy, boy. That nigga, for those of you watching, YSL Woody just fired his lawyer while on the stand. They asked him about the lawyer. He said, she fired. Now, what is the conversation between, I do know that Woody is the state's witness. He look like he finna smack her. What's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to put the court on the record, it's my understanding from last week's proceedings that Mr. Copeland was actually represented by Mr. Jonathan Melnick, and that the court required Mr. Melnick to be here on Monday, and Mr. Melnick indicated that he had non-refundable airline tickets and that he would have someone appear in his place. So I believe Mr. Melnick is still this gentleman's attorney.
We don't know that. We really don't know. I don't even know if he's entered an appearance for the purposes of this, the circumstances thereof, but I'm dealing with it from the standpoint of Mr. Copeland is on the stand. He's a witness. He's had counsel. He's going to continue to have counsel. So that's the reason I'm stating this at this point in time. Okay, sir? But thank you for putting that on the record.
Why is
okay?
she pleading her case
All
to
right,
the
so Ms.
state?
Let's follow your motion. But until such time, you're going to need to remain as long as Mr. Copeland is a witness. And once we've had an opportunity to hear that, then I'll go ahead and do that. But it's not timely to begin with because he's on the stand. He's testifying. Okay. So whatever arrangement you had with Mr. Melnick, I'm sorry that that's put you cross purposes with, not being able to be released. I don't know what difficulties it causes you otherwise, but I apologize on behalf of the court, on behalf of that. But,
Your Honor, we did want to, the state wanted to put something on the record as well, that Mr. Copeland has satisfied at this point his contempt by testifying. So if he remains and testifies, then unless he wanted, there would be no purpose for an attorney. So long as he remains and he testifies, that's the only if he pleads the fifth or fails to testify will he be subject to being placed in custody. So at this time, he has purged his or satisfied his contempt because he is testifying. So long as he remains in this posture, then we believe the contempt will be completed and he would not need an attorney. So, but I can't.
well, but that's his choice. That's what the rule gives him 10 days to do. We're kind of saying, well, make that choice right now. We're telling him here in open court to do that. So that's what the court's concern is at this point in time.
But Your Honor, I was representing him for the civil contempt, not as a witness. So
good point.
Once he purged himself, I should have been released.
Good point. Come on, hammer it down, baby. You don't know how to talk, baby. Hammer it down. Hammer this shit down. That nigga done fired his lawyer, but ain't nobody saying why he fired his lawyer. Why did he fire his lawyer? Why did YSL Woody fire this lady? But she just distinguished that she doesn't represent him in the criminal side.
Sorry, Judge.
You can have a seat. I'll call you back.
She just represent him in the event that he doesn't testify and goes to jail for that. Why did he fire her though? Look how he looking at her. Look how he looking at her. You got to send a crash out for a crash out, baby. Yeah, but he fired her. Like some made him himself. Someone in the comments says she just got state counsel on that and the state wants him without the lawyer so they can ask him whatever. But my thing is, he came up and fired her for whatever reason. Like, I don't know what that's about. I just can't understand why he would be in the middle of testifying and fire his lawyer. Yeah, this is live, bro. See, it seemed like Wood ain't tripping. He looking at them niggas and everything. Like, I don't know what's going on with the Woody nigga. The Woody nigga is a crash out, man. For those just tapping in, hit like, hit share. But what we're dealing with is YSL Woody just fired his lawyer. Let's listen to the judge.
At this, go ahead, man. You can take the podium, please. At this point, the court is still of the opinion that you need to file a motion to withdraw and give your client an opportunity to respond to that. So once you do that, and he has the opportunity to respond to it, I'll calendar it, in fact, for unless he decides immediately that he wishes to not hold your or require your services, but usually he gets 10 days. So.
And how would the court know if he's deciding immediately? Because
Well, usually he's hearing. I mean, you know, we have either the time passes and there's no objection that's filed, and you get it immediately. It's granted, or I set it for a hearing and he says, yes, I either don't want you as attorney or I want to have you as attorney. I'm going to get new counsel, or I've gotten new counsel.
And so Jonathan Melnick is just able to be released?
See, I don't know what the arrangement was between you and Mr. Melnick. I have no idea. That's not my purview. All I know is that Mr. Melnick was here on Friday. He said he was going on a vacation. I don't know if he even properly entered an appearance in this case. I know that his leave wasn't appropriate in this case because he asserted himself as and represented to all concerned that he was in fact Mr. Copeland's attorney. So, and then Mr. Melnick said that he would have counsel for Mr. Copeland on Monday, and that was you. And then you appeared on Monday. So I do think that you do need to properly withdraw and give your client an opportunity to have the full range of options. So until that's done, now Mr. Melnick may come back and may decide, well, yeah, I'm going to pick up, and I still represent Mr. Copeland, but I need to. I'll take up that issue when it was presented before me. Okay. All right. I'm going to set that, madam, for the morning of the 25th of June at 9 a.m. All right. Let's summon our jurors, please.
Judge, may I speak?
Hold on, Sergeant Ingram. You want your your lawyer's not in here.
She not my lawyer.
Well, but you still have the opportunity to decide that, okay? All right. Your client wanted to say something, and he said, you're not my lawyer. But as I told him, I was about to tell him that he has the right to decide that issue, and he has to be given due process to decide that issue. So that's why I want that done in this case, okay?
Okay, Judge.
Okay, all right. So at this point, anything else? As in respect to Ms. Bumpus?
You didn't give me time to say that.
Okay, I'm sorry. What else did you want to say?
Mr. Melnick told me that she was only going to be here for 1 day. And that she was going to make sure that after she's done, then it was going to be.
See, but I have no knowledge of those discussions. And because they asserted themselves as your lawyer, you have certain, certain constitutional protections as being represented by an attorney. I don't know what was said to you. I don't want to know what was said to you, but I'm just looking at who showed up and what they told us, meaning that me and the other parties here. So I don't know, and that's my kind of pause in this particular circumstance is that, and I need to find that out. So filing a withdrawal would help the court in this particular circumstance. Yes, Mr. App.
Just briefly, Your Honor, my application is always to educate and inform the court. The Uniform Superior Court rule does indicate that the 10-day requirement is waived if the client consents to attorney withdrawal.
I tell you what, Mr. Copeland, I'm going to send our jury to lunch. I'm going to let you talk with Ms. Bumpus afterwards, okay?
All right.
And then during the lunchtime hour, and then you can, hold on, wait a sec. And then after that time, I'll
hey, this nigga's a bug out, man.
Point, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. All right, is that sufficient, madam?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right, summon our jurors, please.
Do I leave out?
No, sir. Not yet.
Man, this nigga's a bug out, man. You right, it sounds like he did already decide, but what's happening is he don't know what he's saying. Firing her, I think, fires that other attorney too, because she's there on behalf of that other attorney. It's a crazy courtroom, bro. It's a crazy courtroom. It's going the fuck down in there, man. She emotional. Like, I can tell she's in her feelings.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, we've had to work some issues out, as I mentioned, that happens from time to time. And given the fact that it is into the lunchtime hour, I just brought you out to just formally recess you for lunch, okay? So we're going to go ahead and be in recess until 1:55 and thereabouts, and then we'll come back out at that point in time.
That's an hour from now.
Is this okay? All right. Okay. All rise.
Man, that dude done fired his lawyer, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our jury has left us. We'll be in recess until 1:55, and then we'll Ms. Bumpus, if you'll be back for that point in time, we can go ahead and take up that at that time, okay?
Man.
We're in recess.
Man. Like, this is another level of craziness, bro.
What about it?
Does that look like Little D?
I guess.
Okay. Well, someone you call your son, does it look like the person you know
I
to be
can't
your
see
son?
that. I just told you that from the beginning.
Okay. All right. What, if anything, are you doing with your hands in this picture?
I'm doing nothing with my hand.
Okay. I want to go back to 358 Yankee.
Yo, they got so it's 11:55 where I'm at, and they gonna be gone to 12:55, so that's 1 hour. So I'm gonna jump off and we'll be back. We're gonna take us a lunch hour as well. We'll see y'all back at, y'all are my jury. So we're gonna release our jury here for an hour. And I expect to see my jury back, you know, at 12:55, which is 1 hour from now. All right. So release our jury, which is all of our watchers. Y'all our jury today. You dig. So we release y'all and we see y'all back in an hour. And I think it's gonna get, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I honestly think it's about to get crazy. I honestly think things about to go left. That is my honest opinion about what we're about to literally see.